Hello and welcome to the Redwood City DistrictR demonstration. To get to the DistrictR link for the City of Redwood City, you want to start by going to the Redwood City Redistricting website. This website has information on all past meetings, minutes, outreach videos, background information on the process, on the Advisory Redistricting Committee, the timeline for the phase that the Redistricting Committee and the city are in. And if you see, there is a submit a draft map section, which has the link to the DistrictR mapping tool, instructions, also a link to the placemat and the email where if you have any questions, you can email districtelections@redwoodcity.org for any questions that you have on the process. So we're going to click on the DistrictR mapping tool, and it's going to take us directly to the specific Redwood City DistrictR webpage. DistrictR is an online mapping software that is created out of Tufts University, and it's a software program that a lot of jurisdictions and municipalities across the state are using and across the country as well. So it's really important that if you're here to submit district maps using the district tool for Redwood City, you want to use this specific link so that the Advisory Redistricting Committee and the City Council can see any map submissions that you have. On the section that has some background information, there's also a link that will take you right back to the Redwood City Redistricting webpage. Start drawing. We're going to focus this demonstration on the 7 council districts built out of 2020 blocks. But before we get through that, I want to show you some other sections on your homepage. There's a public gallery, and we can see we already have some submissions, which is wonderful. We have some district-based submissions, some community interest-based submissions. To load any other plans, you click the Load More Plans, and we can see all of the submissions that have been submitted to the website. There's any draft maps will be in the Work in Progress section, and there's an About section that gives you more information on the data that we're using and Redistricting Partners, the consulting firm. Before we get started, I want to note that any district maps that are submitted using DistrictR will be counted as official public testimony, and the Advisory Redistricting Committee and the Council will be able to see them, and any other member of the public will be able to see them as well. So we want to keep that in mind, and again, we welcome any submissions you have. So to start drawing, you're going to click on the purple button that says Redwood City 7 council districts built out of 2020 blocks. So when you open the page, you're going to see an outline of the city of Redwood City, and you also see some smaller geographies that are gray areas, and those are the census blocks. On the top left-hand corner, there's a zoom in button, a zoom out button, and a button to orient your map pointing north. When you start out, there will be a pan tool which allows you to zoom in, zoom out, move the map around. That's the pan tool. There's also the paintbrush, which will let you click on the specific census blocks and allow you to start drawing your districts. The erase tool will erase any census blocks that you don't want in a particular district, and the inspection tool will allow you to look at the specific census blocks by hovering over them, where you'll be able to see the total population and the ethnic breakdown of that specific census block. So we're going to zoom out a little bit before we start drawing. And another note of census blocks is the census data. So when we're talking about census data, we're referencing that first criteria, which is creating districts of a relatively equal size based out of census blocks. And the census data and the census geography go hand in hand. And census blocks are the smallest unit of geography that we receive that census data in. So DistrictR will not allow you to split up any census blocks, and any draft maps or final maps we produce will also be based on census blocks. So when we go back to the paintbrush tool, and if we start clicking away, you will be able to grab some of that geography. And you can either click individually, or you can hold down your mouse and move the mouse around to grab some population. Now you'll notice that this area is showing you all of the growth that you're adding to your district. And some numbers to note is the number that is attached to the specific district shows you the population in that specific district. At the bottom, you'll see something called ideal, and the number is 12,060.43. So if we were to take the total population using the 2020 census data based for Redwood City and divide that up equally by 7, the ideal number per each district would be 12,060.43 people. You do have an allowable total plan deviation of 10%, which will be reflected here in the max population deviation. And that will change as you continue to add other districts. And if you're going to submit a partial plan or a full plan, you'll see that change. And again, the allowable population total plan deviation that the council and the advisory redistricting committee will have, and any draft maps that they consider in the final plan will be at 10%. The final number to keep in mind is the unassigned population, and that is all of the census blocks that we have not added to a particular district. And if you are looking to submit a full draft plan, then you want to try to have that district be 0 or as close to 0 when you're submitting your map. And again, this is just a demonstration. I'm not creating and submitting this as testimony. So we're going to add a couple more just so that we can see the differences. And now when we go to the data layers tab, this is the tab that shows you additional information. You can number your districts if that's something that you'd like to see. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that we can look at the additional layers. There is the school district boundary, which is something we work with staff to get. And we heard a lot of testimony on this in our outreach process. You have the neighborhood association layer, which shows you all of the neighborhoods in Redwood City. And we also have the current districts, if that's something that you would like to reference during your line drawing process. For demographics, we have the total population. And again, this is based on 2020 census data. So we can see the total population and then also the ethnic breakdown. The other data set is the citizen voting age population, which you may also here refer to as CVAP. And this is the population that is folks who are over the age of 18. This is also the data set that we would utilize if we were drawing Voting Rights Act Section 2 districts. And so you can look at that again based on the total population of CVAP or the particular ethnic breakdown. The final data set that you can look at is called a coalition builder, which is here at the bottom. And you can click on multiple ethnic groups, and then to view that, you go back to either show population, click on the variable, and then you're going to want to click coalition population. You can also view it for CVAP by clicking CVAP and then clicking coalition citizen voting age population. And that will show you the coalition builder of the particular groups that you'd like to see together. The final tab is the evaluation tab, which shows you population by race and population based on citizen voting age population by race. And here you'll be able to compare specific ethnic groups to one another, and there will be a percentage based on the district that you drew. And so you're able to change these around if you'd like to look at them based on different groups. So again, we can see that based on race and by citizen voting age population. And again, that would be the data set that we would utilize if we were drawing Voting Rights Act districts or Section 2 Voting Rights Act districts. So once you are ready to submit your map to that gallery, the thing that you would like to do is to click the Save button here at the top, and here will pop up a new window which will allow you to share directly to the gallery. Now this is the best way to submit a DistrictR map. This will ensure that your map is going to be displayed at that gallery that we saw at the home page, and we'll go back so I can show you again where it is. You can feel free to name your map if you'd like, but if you don't, each map will get a specific unique ID number to your map. So whether you name it or you don't, the advisory redistricting committee and the council will have a specific unique ID for your plan. You can also save your map as a draft, as a work in progress, and save it as a draft. Then that will be in the work in progress section on the home page. You can also share your specific URL link to your map with friends, with neighbors, to the council. But again, as a reminder, the best way to have the advisory redistricting committee and the council to see your map is to share it now in gallery. Another thing to note is that there isn't a section on this DistrictR mapping tool for you to make particular comments about that. So if you would like to submit a comment about your map to the ARC, which is the Advisory Redistricting Committee, or to the City Council, you can reference your map name or your specific unique ID map name when you are giving public comment, either via email, when you're attending a meeting, or if you attend via one of the meetings, the advisory committee meeting or the council meeting. Another way that you can share your map or look at it in another platform is to download your map as a PDF. And if you have interest to look at it in another mapping software, such as the Esri-based software or Maptitude, you can download it as a shapefile, GeoJSON, or a CSV. So we're going to go back to the home page that we can just have a quick reminder of where that gallery is. So this is the public gallery. So any maps that you submit to share now will appear in the public gallery. We see we already have a couple of submissions, and there's some that have names on them, but each map has a specific ID number. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to your Redwood City DistrictR mapping tool submissions.